Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Marcela Todd here, your host for this amazing podcast, Life is a Marathon. And I'm here with my awesome guest, Estella. I met Stella 2 weeks ago, actually. So we're new friends. We met at the A1A Marathon and Half Marathon, and I was blown away by her story and her amazing resilience. And she did something really, really, really cool that day. She ran her very first half marathon at 68. So I'm super excited to have her on our podcast today. And Stella, take it away. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I live in Canada, so running outside in the winter isn't always possible. So I've clocked a few treadmill miles. I'm 68, as you mentioned, and I have basically been running all my life. I ran since high school. I was on track teams and all through my life until I hit a snag. And life happens, and for some reasons, for whatever reason, it can be health, it could be family, all kinds of reasons. I didn't run for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
But when I was 60, I got back on the treadmill.
All
I have
right.
I have to say it was like coming home.
Oh, I love that. Tell us more about that.
Well, I started running only 30 minutes, but it was a 30-minute walk
Okay.
and a 1-minute run. And every few
Okay.
days I would add another minute to the run and reduce the walk until I was running and I wasn't walking anymore.
Oh, wow. I love that.
I also did a lot of strength training.
Oh, good.
Resistance training is very necessary. I am a certified NASM CPT. I got
Oh,
certified at
wow.
62 during
That's
the pandemic.
Oh, wow. Wow. Stella, that's awesome that you have done all these things after your 60s. That's amazing.
I'm a living testimony that it's never too late. I'm no different than any other woman out here.
I love it. I love it. And I know we were talking like right before we started recording, we were talking about women and the power that could be reinventing and reclaiming, right, ourselves. And so tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, for me, it became a very clear signal in my life that I couldn't continue living the way I was. I was in menopause, coming out of menopause, all the hormones, all the cortisol, all of these things that don't help us. I had put on a lot of belly fat. And
Mm,
it was a season of my life where I also wasn't doing a lot of exercise.
okay.
So I also happened to have a dietetics degree from McGill University.
Wow.
And that was very instrumental because everybody was talking about the ketogenic diet.
Okay. So
And
for somebody who doesn't know what that is, what would you say?
the ketogenic diet, a lot of people talk bad about it because it's no carbs. And a
Okay.
lot of books have been written and a lot of theories are about how no carbs. But it's not, you don't have to take it to an extreme. If you understand that we need carbs. Our muscles live on carbs. So if you starve your body of carbs, your muscles have nothing to get energy from. And in the ketogenic diet, you go from burning sugar to burning fat. And it's a sometimes 2 weeks to 8 weeks adjustment period before your
Oh.
body makes that switch over. But when your body starts burning your own fat, which I had plenty of, it started melting off my body. It
Oh.
was it was I couldn't even believe it. And another medical miracle for me was at 62 years old, I went to my eye doctor and I said, I need new glasses. After
Uh-huh.
the exam, she says, I have never seen this before in my life. Your vision has improved 40%. You no longer need
Wow.
glasses legally to drive. I was
Wow.
amazed. And the reason? Because there was no glucose circulating in the system.
Oh, wow.
Glucose, we know diabetics lose their vision, right?
Uh-huh.
Sugar is can be our enemy if there's too much in our system. So because I was so overweight, I wasn't on it for very long, maybe 9 months, but it was enough to reset my body. And then gradually, I'm Greek. Come on, we got to eat bread.
I love Greek food. Hey, Greek food is my favorite. One of my favorites for sure.
You
Oh,
see?
wow.
So
Yes, it's delicious.
gradually I went back into carb, but I use there's all these apps that you can use to track your macros.
Uh-huh.
And so I started focusing on the macros, making sure I had enough protein because you need at least 1.5 grams of protein per body weight.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, the other thing about protein and why it's so important, and I didn't know it at the time, but the science explains it. Your body has muscles. Your muscles are made of protein, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't feed your muscles and you keep consuming food, your muscles start dissipating. As we get older, we lose muscle. So the food that you're eating hasn't got any muscle to go to. So what is happening? It turns into fat.
Mm-hmm. And we get weaker too, which we don't want to
Yes.
we don't want to get weaker. We want to get stronger.
Well, that's the whole thing. So I got off the ketogenic plan, but I had lost maybe 45 pounds by then.
Wow, that's
Over a
amazing.
period of maybe 6 months, which isn't crazy. It's a reasonable amount. And using the app, I tracked my protein, I tracked all the other macros, and I looked out at carbs, and the quality of carbs that you eat is also very important. So that was the
Wow.
nutrition side of my journey.
Good. I love it. So, Stella, let me ask you, if for anybody who's out there listening to us and they want to start that weight loss journey, and maybe they haven't started running yet, but they're considering, getting active and healthy, what would you recommend for them to take as the first step?
It's very simple. Walk 30 minutes. If you find a treadmill, put it on an incline.
Uh-huh.
Walk for 30 minutes on an incline. That low level energy is actually fat burning.
Very
So if
good.
you would be surprised how the fat will start melting off your body if 3 times a week you start walking on a treadmill on an incline, not fast, a decent walk. And once you've done that, well, by the time a month has gone by, you've lost weight, the stress on your body will be significantly less because you have less weight. And then you can start running a little bit. Personally, when that happened to me, I started running 1 minute, 2 minutes, and every week I increased it. And once I hit 30 minutes, then I said, I'm in business.
I love it. And just like that, you just finished a half marathon 2 weeks ago, Stella. I want you to talk to us about that journey.
Yeah, the half marathon wasn't something that I was thinking about. I have been posting regularly on my Instagram channel 5Ks today. Today is a 5K kind of day. And my
Okay.
friend, who I met at the last year at the Publix Celsius 5K,
Uh-huh.
her name is Lovey. She,
We know Lovey and we love Lovey.
oh, she's
She's
so
one of our
special.
members, actually. Yeah. She's very special. Yeah.
So I met her at the 5K, and
Uh-huh.
we exchanged WhatsApp, and we stayed
Okay.
in touch. And 4 months before, 3 months before the half marathon, she says, "So are you coming to Florida?" I said, "Yes, I am." "So you're going to do the half marathon?" I said, "What?" She says, "Oh, come on. I see you running. You run more than I do." Now, we're talking to a woman who's done maybe, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 half marathons, right?
Quite a
But
few.
she's
Yeah.
But she told me, listen, you can go to Walt Disney and walk for 4 hours. You can run the half marathon. And then I took it seriously because I have a friend who is a running coach in Texas. And
Hmm.
she gave me a little plan and she talked to me about fueling.
Yeah, it's important. Very important.
Yes. And here am I with a dietetics degree, but I never studied it in the context of an athlete. And she was explaining how important it is to fuel properly. So that made a very big difference. And she gave me a running program, but it was hard because on a treadmill, if you want to do, 12 kilometers on a treadmill, it's a long time. And the other thing, I'm now 68. I run so much slower than just 3 years ago. In 2020, I hopped on to the marathon, the A1A Marathon. I was here and I
Uh-huh.
ran along for 13 kilometers. And when I looked at my pace, I
Uh-huh.
was doing 6 minutes per kilometer. Okay, that was 6 years ago. Now it's closer to 10.
It happens, right? But hey, as long as you're getting out there, it doesn't matter.
Well, that's the point. And
Yeah.
the thing is consistency.
Absolutely.
We have to do that. And I love running. I made a
Uh-huh.
joke earlier that, running keeps me out of jail.
I love that, Stella. That's right, because you can outrun the police. I'm just kidding.
Not a joke. You know what? At a few months ago at the gym, there was somebody on the treadmill next to me, and he was kind of looking at me. You run like a girl. I looked at him. I said, you know what? You may be faster, but I'm going to outrun you.
Yeah, there you go.
So I got off the treadmill. I found him in the gym in the weight room, and I showed him my watch. I said, I just did 7K, and you know what? It's better than sex.
Uh-oh, what do you say?
His face went boom, and then he said, well, it certainly lasted longer.
Well, you got a point.
you know,
Yeah.
as women, we collect an armor, right? Because the gym is a big hit on place, so we know how to handle that, right? And when you get to 68, been there, done that, right? So the consistency of my running did a lot to condition my heart rate, and something that I noticed was extraordinary. You are my pacing coach.
Oh.
I listened to you. The 30 seconds running, 30 seconds walking. In Florida heat, my heart rate stayed around 140. I was shocked because today I went out and I did a 5K and I had to go back to that plan because within minutes, it's not that if I didn't have my watch telling me that my heart rate was 160,
Right?
I would
Yeah.
not have stopped.
Oh.
Okay. So because of the heat and humidity, I had to stop and I walked and I still did a 5K, but significantly slower. I have to say though, I have Mediterranean roots. I
Uh-huh.
love running in the heat. Really, I can't stand the cold. So
Yeah,
your methodology of the interval training, and we all remember Jeff Galloway today.
we do. We miss Jeff. For those of you who are listening and maybe you haven't heard or maybe you're not familiar with your Jeff Galloway, or you are. Oh, Jeff was such an amazing inspiration, Olympic athlete, and he was such an icon. And he made those interval training um, methods so practical, opening the door for so many of us
Right.
to get into the running world, because like there are times when people think, oh my God, forget it, I can't do this, that's for elite people. And the beautiful thing about running is that running is for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how fast or how slow, you can do it. Right. We always recommend also people get in before they start an exercise program, that they check with their doctor, obviously,
Yeah.
and just to make sure. But it's something that you can do, and you start little by little. And even for those people that are experienced runners, right? Um, that are also looking into improving their game and working on their speed and everything else, the consistency, it's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And the fueling is a non-negotiable. All these things, like, put them all together, and then they help you. It's kind of like a little puzzle, right? You put
You're
them all
right.
there, and then they take you to victory. So so going back to the interval training, if you're just starting, that's something you can definitely try. Stella tried it. She completed her first half marathon in Fort Lauderdale at A1A, and it was such a great journey. And I have to tell you guys, to me, when I met her, so we met about mile 6 or so, right? We were in
Yeah.
State Park and we started talking, and I have to tell you, we hit it off right off the bat, and we
Yeah.
shared some of our stories. And there's such a beauty when you can connect and you can relate. And just she kept saying how this space was working for her, and she was feeling great. Her energy was amazing. She was so positive throughout, and we had an amazing time. And while we were running, she shared with me that she's doing some amazing, amazing things right now, especially for women, right? Stella, you want to talk to us a
Mhm.
little bit about that?
Certainly. On the personal note, I divorced at 60 after a 25-year marriage. All the reasons aside, I don't see myself as a divorced woman. I don't
Oh.
see myself as someone who survived divorce. I see myself as a woman who rebuilt. And
Mm.
that is my message. Divorce wasn't the transformation, it was the interruption that forced me to get clear on what I wanted in life. For
Wow.
decades, like many women, I was the emotional glue of the household. We
Hmm.
carry stability, we carry harmony, and we make sure everyone else is okay. Slowly, we become invisible, and our own wants, desires, and goals, not only do they go to the bottom of the list, but we forget about them. So
Wow.
we become very good at ignoring ourselves and holding everything together. And so I had to ask myself one important question. And that actually it was a question that my divorce lawyer asked me. How do you want to live? That is a fundamental question. It's not about money. Money is, of course, a big piece, but how do you want to live? At the time I was 60, I couldn't see myself at 70. And that's when I decided I would shift my mindset. So, my message is don't wait for a wake up call. It's a
That
lot. Yes.
I'm so sorry. I was just gonna say that is such a great question for anyone out
Yeah.
there. How do you want to live? It doesn't matter if you're married, if you're single, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
anything. How do you want to live? Have you asked yourself that? And are you there? And if you're not, Stella, tell us.
That's a very big question. And you have
Yes.
such a strong point. You seem to be talking from experience too.
Yes.
we, we're
Trust
all in
me.
the same tribe.
Yes, yes. Definitely.
So, reinvention isn't about blowing up your life. It's about reclaiming your life, reclaiming authorship, and
I
taking back
love that.
control. For me personally, running became a very important part of that rebuilding. Every treadmill run in Montreal winters was a reminder
Oh my
that
God. I don't know how
forward
you did it.
motion, yes,
Yeah.
forward motion is a decision that we make in our life.
Forward
It's
motion. I love that.
it's a metaphor. And as running is very meditative, right? I know we make jokes. We say it's a mental sport and we're all crazy. But jokes aside, it is a mental sport. It's
True,
you,
absolutely.
your breath, the pavement, the movement of your body. You begin to feel connected to your body. You begin to feel the strength in your lungs, the strength in your heart. And as time goes by, what you said is so important: consistency. That consistency is what keeps you going because it has such a wonderful effect. I know it's euphoric, but the half marathon wasn't about proving anything. It was about demonstrating to myself that I was still capable of growth, even at
I
68.
love
But
that.
I've been running most of my life except for that 15-year window. I reclaimed it and
I
I did
love
it.
that.
So, my message is very simple. Don't let life happen to you.
Make it happen, right? Make it happen. Oh my
Pause,
God.
reflect, decide, and clarity is always easier before the wake up call. So,
Wow.
reinvention after 60 isn't just about starting over, it's about building on the strength that's already inside of us. But if we don't do the inner work can be anything. It can be prayer, it could be meditation, it could be seeing a therapist, it could be talking with your doctor. These are, you deserve, love yourself enough to give yourself that time, because that time will transform the quality of your life. And that's the fundamental message that I have.
Stella, I love that. And I'm so grateful that you're sharing that. And you know what? It doesn't matter where you are in life and how old you are, whether you're married or single or divorced or whatever you are. This message about loving yourself and taking
Oh,
care of yourself, it reminds me every time we're traveling, right? We get on a plane, and what do they say? The first thing, if something ever happens and the oxygen mask comes down, what's the first thing that needs to happen? It's not putting it on the next person, the person next to you or the other one. You have to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of all the other people around you, right? If that comes down to it. So I love that message, Stella, because today I want to encourage everybody. Love yourself. Love yourself. Do whatever it is that brings you joy. What are you eating? What are you feeding your body with? Are you hydrating enough? Are you resting enough? Are you getting enough sleep? How are you taking care of yourself and your body? And we're not just physical, right? Like we're tridimensional. I would say we're
yes, we are
body, mind,
spiritual
and
beings.
spiritual. Exactly. So it's not just taking care of our bodies. It's not just taking care of our physical body and do the exercise that we need to do and eat the right things that we need to eat and get enough rest because we need it. Because when we sleep and rest, that's how our body regenerates, right?
Yeah,
And we're ready for the next day. But it's not just about that. It's about also our emotional state. Like, you can see people, and I work at a fitness centers. And so, sometimes you see people that are in great shape. And just being in the running community, you see these people, they look great but I look at them and sometimes I see, okay, they look great physically, but how are they doing in the inside? Right. And so this podcast is called Life is a Marathon. And we all go through the marathon of life. We all have our happy miles. We all have our miles that are hard,
oh,
miles where we want to give up. And so
uh-huh.
going through those miles and how you take care of yourself is going to prepare you to get through those miles, especially the tough miles, right? Stella, you've had some tough miles in your life, haven't you?
Oh yes, I have. And they have, without going into detail, they're the ones that made me say, how do I want to live? And as I started sharing in the locker room, actually, with other women, I realized how many of us are quietly suffering and we're not saying anything. We're at the gym, but we're not saying anything. And that was the pivot point for me. I wrote a book,
Mm.
and it's published on Amazon. It's called I'm Getting Divorced. Where do I start?
Oh, wow.
But the book is divided, the financial and the emotional. The
Wow.
emotional piece is a very strong piece, and it has, divorce doesn't have to happen for you to look at the emotional side. Everything you just said, all those important pillars, your sleep, your food, your mindset, your state of being, this is so important. And so I launched a YouTube channel for women in midlife who are looking at the concept of reinvention. I'm also a watercolor artist, and
Oh,
I'm
man,
using,
you do so much, Stella. You're amazing.
listen, you get to be 68, you've done stuff.
I love
It's
all the stuff you've done.
so my channel's called Inspirations by Stella,
Oh, I love it.
and I have several content buckets there. I have a content bucket on art for the soul,
Wow.
midlife reset. I have a few videos on fitness, and I did a nice video on my shoes and why
I
shoes
love
are
it.
so important.
Very good, very
And
good.
I have a large series called Note to Self.
Oh,
And
wow.
those are reflections for women going through midlife.
Oh, I
And I
love it.
talk about, the inner work. And actually, I just released a 5-minute video on fulfillment is an inside job. And I don't know if you've ever heard of a woman called Anne Lamott. She's a Christian writer,
Oh, okay.
and she has quite a story. And that is her quote:
Oh, I love
fulfillment is an
that.
inside job. And really, it's all about reclaiming what's inside.
I love that.
It's not rocket science. We're not splitting the atom. We're just loving ourselves enough to really take a look. And it's hard because we are conditioned not to do that, right? We are
It's
conditioned
true.
to look at everybody else. But what you
Mhm.
just said about the oxygen mask, that is a very powerful metaphor. And
Yeah.
it's something we need to remember all the time. I I'm so grateful that I met you. I'm
Oh,
so
you're so
grateful that I get
sweet,
to talk
Estella.
with you here because my life was a marathon so far and it's not my last one.
You still have a lot of miles to go, Stella. A lot of miles to
I hope
go.
so. I really hope so. It was tough. If it wasn't for you and your
Oh,
pacing, I don't know if I could have done it. I lost you in the last I'm Canadian. I talk about kilometers. So
yes, I know. We
I
have to do
lost you
the
in the
math
last
for
2
it.
kilometers. But there you were at the finish line. I'm going to
Yeah.
cry because you came up to me and you hugged me. And I was, oh, I'm going to cry. I'm sorry.
That's such a moment, Stella.
It
That's
was
such a
for me,
moment.
after reinventing your life, after going through, you know, the bottom of the barrel, let's put it that way, because
Uh-huh.
life happens to everybody
It
in many
does.
different ways. It isn't always divorce. There's health. There's so many things that can happen in our
So
life.
many
We can
things.
lose
Yes.
a job. We can lose a spouse. We can lose our family. We can go through fires. There's so many things. So, life as a marathon is such a beautiful metaphor. And your compassion, not just you, but everybody who wore your friends in training t shirt,
Thank you, Stella.
very special. Yes, very special.
Thank
I wish
you.
there was a group like that in Canada. I
Aw.
subscribe to your newsletter,
Oh,
and
great.
yes, because I want to be part of who you are. I know I'm in
Aw.
Canada, but 2 months of the year I'm here. And
Oh, I love it.
thanks to you, those 2 months of the year are a light in my life. You are
Oh,
wonderful.
Stella. Thank you so, so much for sharing that. And, you make a great point because, this podcast is being released in so many places. So if you're not locally here, you can still be part of our community. You can follow us on our Instagram page, at Friends in Training, our Facebook page. You will see our pictures and you will feel part of it as well. We also have some great content. We talk about strength training that you mentioned. We talk about a whole bunch of different helpful things for the marathon. And then the marathon of life, obviously, we're talking about it here. So yeah,
It's a beautiful, beautiful concept. Beautiful concept. I'm deeply touched, and your group is going to make a difference in my life going forward because it's a community.
thank you, Stella. And I can tell you, like, our people, I'm so grateful to God because He sends us just the best people. And I am so grateful for all of them. And we are the great group that we are is because of the amazing leadership team that we have, our members, everybody that makes this family and this place where people can come. And it's, we're like cheers where everybody knows you came. Everybody knows.
Yes,
And
yeah.
everybody knows they're glad you came. So we are that. We're not just we're just not just a running club. We are a family, and we care for people, and we want to welcome you to part of our friends in training community. We're happy to have you, Stella. And I was just gonna say, if there's anything else that you'd like to share with everybody who's listening, if you don't mind, just go over your channel again if anybody wants to contact you, if there are any women out there that are looking into reinventing themselves, and even if you're not, in that part of your life, but you want to get some inspiration and learn how to do things right. Stella she's a wealth of knowledge. She knows so much, and she's doing some great content. So, we want to ask you to also follow her.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my YouTube channel, that's my main thing. I have Inspirations by Stella on YouTube,
Inspirations by Stella.
and it's, our journey is private. And the reason that I put the videos out is because when you're starting this journey, you feel there's a lot of stigma when you want to change your life. It's never easy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I have so much content. I have 180 videos.
Wow.
And I also have a lot of digital products that you can download for free. Every video has a link,
I love
almost every
it.
video. So you can get, I have one that a lot of people like. It's called I Am Worthy of My Dreams.
Oh my God, I love
It's
that.
a one pager, it's a journal prompt. I have another thing. Oh my gosh, yeah. I just put it together. It's
Yes.
watercolor journaling. It's a 21-page book. And it's
Wow.
linked to my videos. It's the
I love
most recent one. And it's free. And it's very simple. It's not a watercolor tutorial. It's basically using the paintbrush to make marks on paper. But
wow.
I lead you through almost like a guided meditation, and there's 6 prompts.
That's
S-
awesome.
Yeah, you know what? These are things I wish I had when I was going through my journey. And I thought, you know what? It's not, you don't have to be an artist. It's got nothing to do with that, because as women, especially, creative expression is part of who we are.
Absolutely.
And that's why everything I have, almost everything I have, is free. I think I have something that's $2.99, but that's it. Seriously. So yeah, I'm very happy. Inspirations by Stella. Please follow me because it's from the heart. There's no fluff there.
I
I,
love it. Stella, thank you so much. I just two more things I just want to mention before we go. But I tell you that you've mentioned dreams a couple of times. And you don't know how many people sometimes I've talked to and they say, I don't have any dreams or I can't dream anymore. Or I ask them, so what do you want? What do you want in life? I don't know. And there's so many people that are on that boat that may not know what they want out of life or they don't know what to dream. And we're here to encourage you. Dream big, whatever it is, right? Chase your dreams. If you don't know what you want, start with what you don't want. Okay, you don't want to,
yes,
right?
that's.
Because
I
that can
actually
go
have.
easier. Like, I don't want this.
You know what? That's so important. But I did on my Instagram channel, and it's also on my YouTube channel. It's all about your dreams. Dreams don't expire. And I
I
did
know.
actually a video exactly on that subject, because we don't know what our dreams are. And how do you find it? And that's what it's for.
Exactly, exactly. So dreams can come true, people. I can tell you one really short experience for me. For a long, long time, I had a dream to bring our friends in training to run the New York City Marathon. And that was like so far because, New York City is hard to get into. You have to do the
Yeah.
lottery and this and that and the other. Anyway, but you know what? God gave us a way because we were able to go through this company at the time. Well, Marathon Tours was the company that we used at the time. And they opened that year. It was the year right before the pandemic. And I was
Oh.
able to accomplish that dream and bring people to our friends in training to the New York City Marathon. It was such a special, special experience. And there's so many, but for some reason, I was just talking to somebody before this conversation, somebody from New York. And so that's fresh in my mind that we had that
Oh
conversation.
my.
We're here to tell you people dreams can come true, so don't be afraid of dreaming. Dream big, right?
Yes,
Like that song, Dream On.
absolutely.
Stella, I love you. Thank you so so much for joining us. I'm so grateful that you did, and you are such an amazing person. I hope we get a lot of people to follow you, follow your journey. Keep being strong and encouraged, and helping women and everybody reinventing themselves, reconnecting with themselves, and life is a marathon.
Indeed, indeed. Marcella, you are a light in my life. Honestly,
Thank
your
you,
your
Stella.
compassion and your mission and everything you stand for is very uplifting and makes a difference. And that's what we all need. Thank you.
Thank you, Stella. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye.